Yeah, yeah. What's going on, people? Um, so look, you already heard, right? As we all heard, or we all seen and watched, or whatever. Um, so Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, and the crazy thing is that we can't say that we didn't see this coming. Like, not to Chris Rock, but we've been talking about it. We've been talking about it. But, but is alopecia where we draw the line at? Is that what we're doing? Hold on, I can't get none of my settings right. What's going on here? Okay, so that's that one. All right. So it's alopecia where we draw the line at. Alopecia. Alopecia. I don't care if I'm saying it right or wrong. Is that where we're drawing the line at? Right? When alopecia is more common than what people realize. Right? So what am I talking about? This is what I'm talking about. All right. Hold on, let me. This is what I'm talking about. Since we want to focus on alopecia and people's medical conditions, right? These are the type of alopecia, right? And I want you guys to look at it. These are the types of alopecia that happens, right? So, and then we're going to go from, we need to really look at these things, right? Androgenetic alopecia is a common form of hair loss in both men and women. And hold on, can I? Let me see. Can I? I can't drag it over. All right, there we go. Of both men and women. That's that is called male pattern baldness. There you go. There we go. There we go. Right there. So male pattern baldness, things that we all go through when the hairline starts going back. Um, androgenic alopecia. I said something different the first time. All right. Men over the age of 50, and it actually starts in the 20s, to be honest with you. Men go through this, at an early age. It seems like, especially in this country. So it's like, is that where we're going to draw the line when we make fun of people's hairlines all the time? Dudes wear hats, and then when you take off the hat, you see women lose interest because your hairline is gone. Well, guess what? That's alopecia. It's a different type, but it is what it is, right? So then we're going to get back into, some more stuff. And these different things are caused by different things. Mostly it's caused by, old age, or it's hereditary, right? So for the people that's is like really putting an emphasis, she has alopecia. Listen, we get it. I mean, some of y'all don't because y'all really trying to push this argument. She has a medical condition. Yeah, no, 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 whatever. But as innocent as that joke was, as innocent as that joke was, and it was a joke, right? And Will Smith has joked with other people in the past about being bald. For instance, this right here, right? Let's take a look at this right here. Let me see. Can I can't zoom out. Yeah, let's view this right here. He got a rule. He got to wax his head every morning. That's a rule. He follows the rules, man. He follows the rules. Oh, these are jokes. Come on. Right, but those are just jokes. Right, those are just jokes. Those are just jokes when he's saying it. Right, those are just jokes when he's saying it. It's just jokes when that looked like an older man. It looked like the top of his head was very shiny, and we all know what that means. Like when where your hair, you know, falls out and it gets real shiny, and that's pretty much the indication of it's not going to grow back. But he was confident enough because it was just jokes, and we're supposed to laugh at these things, you know. And he pointed him out. He actually pointed out his bald head, and he had something to say about it, right? Now, since Low Down Dirty Shame, which is a movie I hated, but I was made to watch because my aunt really loved that movie. I mean, out of all the Wayne's movies, that's like my least favorite. Um, it has some good parts to it, but I don't know how old I was. I was a kid. I didn't want to watch that. She's had short hair or has rocked shorter hair for a very long time. I don't care if she was public with it or not. Listen, I'm on the internet every day, all day, in some form or fashion. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all these things. And the things that I still miss coming from people in my personal life is uncanny because the way that the algorithms pop up and everything like that is like nobody's obligated to keep up with people's life in a microscope to see every single thing that's going on. And we've heard worse from Chris Rock. And you mean to tell me that somebody doing this for I don't know how many years, like 30 years, uh the best that he could come up with, Jada, I love you, G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. And then he was moving on, you know? Like then he was moving on. And then I guess he heard somebody that was in their area and he was like, that was a mild one. Like that was nothing. I could really go in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we could go there, right? We could go there. But he wasn't going to, right? But Regina Hall took a shot at him, you know, um, when she said, Will, it looks like you're married, but hey, come on back. Jada said that you can. I mean, listen, the way that everybody is taking offense to this, man, is like really like is it's mind boggling because guess what? A few months ago, Dave Chappelle, right, was in a similar situation. I mean, didn't nobody slap him or nothing like that, but it's like comedy is under attack. Comedy really is under attack, and it's like when you go to comedy shows, and I have buddies that do stand up comedy, so like first of all, you have to have a lot of heart to do that, to go up and to be funny or to not be funny. Like there's sometimes I've seen people bum and they're in front of rooms full of 50, 100, 150 people, 200 people. That takes heart to be able to get up there. You're in front of 50 to 200 different personalities, and some of the numbers could be even bigger, but I'm just keeping it around 200, right? Um, you have 200 different people to make laugh. 200 people from different backgrounds. They were raised different. Everybody has different trauma. You have 200 people that you're trying to make laugh. Like you are trying to make light of situations to also show people like, yo, you may be going through something, but you could laugh through it though. Like you could laugh through your pain, right? That's what comedy is, especially stand-up comedy. Um, I don't believe that he knew that she had alopecia, but since alopecia is common, it really don't matter. But the amount of pressure that Will has been in, and we got to talk about this mental health, because everybody want to say, oh, well, Will's been going through a lot. Do y'all know that Chris Rock been through a divorce, right? Anybody that's been in any type of marriage, any type of serious break, I mean, marriage and divorce is about as serious as a commitment as you could get. And when you break that commitment up and you got family and you got money and you got property, and do you know what type of anguish that happens during a divorce? And now somebody that has been through one, like, yo, I don't get to see my two oldest kids every day. Like, yo, listen, that bothers me. That that bothers me. Going from waking up to your kids every day, being able to tuck them in at night, have silly time around the house, to only on the weekends, right? And you can't really get the time that you want because guess what? As a man, you still gotta go, work, and you still gotta move on with life, and you still gotta do these different things. Like being a man is hard, and I get it. But what about Chris Rock's mental health? Will Smith's been hurt for a long time. Like we've been talking about it. The whole world was pretty much volleying for Will to leave his wife. Like, yo, this is gonna end bad. This is this is gonna end badly. And in a previous, you know, podcast that I put up, I was hoping this was for some type of bigger play so that he could do damage control for him to leave or to do something else because that will make sense because he has a lot to lose. But we've seen this coming. Men's mental health is something that is not really talked about. It's not really cared about until tragedy happens. And if you, uh, you know, think that this is bad, there's a ton of men that commit, the S word. Because if I say it, YouTube will flag it. They self delete themselves. They game over themselves. Nobody cares. Nobody bats an eye till they take it beyond. Like when the guy was trying to get custody of his children, fought in court for years, and he had enough. Murdered his ex-wife and then took his own life. Those are the times, excuse me, those are the times to where it really, oh, and then everybody's up in arms. This was a safe place for this to happen, to be honest. National TV, you got millions of people, they probably check everybody for weapons before they come in. This was the safest place for Will to pull this stunt. So Will went from being bullied to being a bully and choosing the right place and the right person to do it with. And I'm not sure that if it didn't happen there, it would have been the same outcome. Uh, People saying that he's protecting his wife. Like, listen, the whole world, like the reason why marriages don't last how they used to, or how they or why they're so dysfunctional, is because for this culture, protection is physical violence, right? Like protection is physical violence. Like that's what women see as protection, right? What about keeping your private life private so you have the space to be emotional? So you have the space to work out issues between a man and a wife, between a husband and a wife, without the public influence and making that person. It's like, yes, I feel for them because they're famous and they don't get any privacy, but at the same time, some of this is self inflicted pressure, which is something I see on Facebook every day. I see people on Facebook, you know, going through breakups, and they go through breakups and they put in the air all their dirty laundry and they back with the same person the very next week. Like, yo, I thought he was a crackhead. Yo, I thought he had two kids by two other different women. It and the list goes on. Hey, I thought you said he gave you a black eye last week. But then when you comment on it, everybody need to mind their business. Yo, we was, but you putting things on a public platform, and then you get mad if I be like, hey, listen, the way that you made it seem, your situation wasn't that safe, but you went back to it. Like, are you sure this is what you should be doing? Like, if these things really did happen, if this guy or if this chick is really that toxic, like, you sure you want to be back in that? You know what I'm saying? These are the stuff that we see, and we want protection after the fact. Protection is just not violence as the end all be all. Like, there are situations to where it's like part of protection is me not driving my family through the worst neighborhood, right? Part of protection is if I'm in a neighborhood that I don't know, to be vigilant to try to avoid problems. Because it don't matter what anybody say, the wrong man in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time, bro, anything can happen, especially when it's not your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't listen. I'm not from Compton. I'm not going to go to Compton and be the alpha male in Compton or in Crenshaw or in the Bronx. Like, those not my hood. Those people don't know me, right? Part of protection is if you have the money to get your family out of the hood, get them out of the hood. Part of protection is being able to problem solve to not let things escalate. But in our culture, in this American culture that is ever so changing, and who knows what it's going to be by next year, protection is just not physical violence. Especially at during a segment from a stand-up comic doing what he does. He was hired or invited, I'm not sure how that works, to do something that he was doing. That'd be like me going to one of the comedy shows. Like, listen, I've been to comedy shows and I've had the pleasure of sitting on the front row, right? As a matter of fact, Bruce one year came to the Funny Bone, and I'm sitting next to one of my friends, and there's a pastor that pastors a church that was sitting like 2 seats away from me. Bruce went down the freaking line. He went down the line, and the pastor was the very last stop. He went in on me. He went in on the pastor, right? Like and guess what? We laughed about it. What I look like getting upset? What do the pastor look like getting upset? You know, that's what we there for. This culture is turning into a whole bunch of soft, sensitive people. Like yo, like, is this really the world that you guys want? Is anybody can be ultra offended by anything and take uh physical violence is the answer, or cancel culture is the answer? Like, comedy is like the last hope that we have for being any type of normal society at all. If you ask me, I could be wrong. People can't say what they want to say. People can't feel what they want to feel. Um, and words don't have meaning anymore. It's like words and phrases and things just don't have meaning anymore. It's like people add on and take away different things just to fit whatever narrative that you want to fit it to. Context doesn't matter anymore. Intent doesn't matter anymore. Being hired to be funny and to tell jokes doesn't matter anymore. Men aren't women. I mean, men aren't men. Women aren't women. Like, what are we doing here, man? And to hear men and women defending, like, listen, if he called Jada out of her name, okay, I get it. Go knock a couple teeth out. Okay. As mild as a joke that was, and let me talk about him and August Alsina just briefly before I get up out of here, because it's like 4 in the morning and I should be asleep. Um, listen, so Jada and August had an entanglement, whatever. Okay, I'm not even gonna go focus on that. It was consented, right, for the action to happen. But what about the stuff that happened afterwards, right? Him going on interviews, talking about it, blasting them. He made a song about it with Rick Ross, right? Okay, so maybe you don't have smoke for August for the act because you didn't care about the act itself. Okay, okay, that's fine. But me and being men, we know that he cared about the act. Like, we listen, we know if it's a man in your house that's supposed to be a friend, and then even if y'all having bad times for y'all to, hook up, men know how 99% of all men feel about that situation. But he said that he was cool with it. Okay, we're gonna bypass that. But even on the red table talk, both of them said that it was awkward that he would wait so long to come out with it because the time had passed. Okay, so if the time passed, where's the smoke for all of the interviews and the song that came out and him trying to boost his album sales? Where's the slap for that? Right? Where's the slap for Rick Ross hopping on the song talking about an entanglement with your wife? Where's the slap for that? Future had some comments to say. Where's the slap for Future? And like, these are people that he could run into like any given time. Now, I don't condone violence, but if you're just gonna go around slapping people, hey, listen, keep that same energy with with people that are more known or seemingly more known for getting busy, right? Like, where's the slap for all the people? It's like this. 50 Cent has some choice words. And yes, you called 50 and you talked to 50, but let's keep it real. I mean, 50 just made a post on IG. Him and Mike Tyson hosting the Oscars next year. Basically, that's like saying if I'm up there or if Mike Tyson up there, Will Smith, you ain't gonna do nothing. That's basically what it says. Like, hey, I'm gonna be up there next year. You don't even have to finish the statement. We all know what that means. Even if it's in a joking manner, because guess what? These are all jokes, but we all know what that means. We all know people won't voluntarily have smoke for Mike Tyson for sure. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? We all know that if somebody like uh, shoot, The Rock or you know Roy Jones Jr. was up there saying anything, we know. Oh, he's a professional boxer. Oh shoot, we know that the anger will be displayed a little bit differently, but because he had so much pressure, who knows? Who knows? Because that's what mental health does. And like, we're not going to camouflage this with love, right? Because I don't know what they got going on, but society at large doesn't see it as love. People have read his book. People know what he's been through in his childhood. Yo, like he's hurt by a lot of different stuff. It's not just what came from his wife. He's hurt, and it's cool. We human. We could be hurt. Like that. That's not the problem. Being hurt is not the problem. Being hurt is, hey, we're all human. We can hurt, but listen, dealing with that and pretty much taking everything out on somebody that's doing their job, that was invited there to do what he does, that was also talking about other people. He went down the line. He spent the least amount of time on her, and he moved it quickly along, right? And people are defending that in for society's sake. Yo, this ain't it. This ain't it. Like this whole thing isn't it, right? But once again, it was jokes when he was talking about somebody that most likely had alopecia because it's called by old age and your hormones and your body starts to change and it attacks the hair follicles first. We have gray hair, the hair falls out. Like, these are things that happen to almost everybody. Jada's not special. I'm not special. I was born. Hopefully, I get old as possible. I'm gonna get gray hair. I'm gonna bald. I'm gonna die, just like everybody else in this whole entire world. Nobody is special in that regard in the circle of life. Like we all go through similar things. We're not special. Like so, and you want to live this public lifestyle, right? Living a public lifestyle, but then don't want what comes with it. Don't you think that's kind of what's wrong with society at large? People want all the benefits, people want all the pros, none of the cons, right? When we talk about women in this society, women don't want to build with the man, they want the finished product. They want to step to a man that has everything. They don't want to put no effort in. Don't we say the same thing about drug dealers and people that rob people? Like they want the fast money, and and I have my views on that. Like in a different podcast that I've been working on. But don't don't you think that that's kind of what's wrong? People want the outcome, none of the work. People want the outcome with just the benefits. Like, what are we doing? Like, this whole thing is twisted, man. But Will Smith, since that time he came out with the BS apology, bro, hold that apology. You don't mean it. I don't care about the apology. So, because if you are truly defending your wife, like honestly, then what are you saying sorry for? You made it act, live with the reaction, live with the pushback, live with whatever opportunities. And yes, you will swim if you got money, but guess what? You still want opportunities. You did it, you own it. But we all know that that was a build up waiting to happen. We saw it. We've seen it coming. We have seen it coming. Like people just don't want to pay attention. Like we've seen this coming. And everybody wants to make excuses and make, oh yeah, stay out them people's business and stay out the, well, guess what? Them people's business started becoming our business. Can't go down the Facebook feed, all something else that happened. Can't turn on the news, all something else that happened. Can't go on YouTube, all something else concerning Will Smith and Jada that happened. Oh, he got a tell all book. Okay, great. And now their public life has affected somebody else that was minding his own business. And see, like, and then let's get into this minding your own business thing real quick. If somebody's minding their own business, guess what? They're not going to know if somebody has alopecia or not. Because guess what? Chris Rock got his own problems in his own life, and he's minding his own business. And he was paid or asked to show up and comment on somebody's short hair that has often had short hair. Like you guys are trying to string together logical things that don't make sense because you guys want to see people act out and be pieces of crap people. What Will Smith did was crappy, right? In that moment, Will Smith, you are a POS. Like just straight up. Um, but when you're minding your own business, then you really don't know what everybody has going on in their life. You really don't. I got a brother that stayed 3 blocks from me. This is my brother. I got cousins that we talk about. Well, not that we talk about, that we talk to. And during a time in my life when I was going through so much, and only my brother knew what was going on, and it was secrets that my cousins didn't find out till like 3 or 4 years later when I actually told them. Cause you know why? Cause everybody was minding their business. Everybody was minding their business. It's like, look, there's things that go on in my day to day life that my brother don't know till I tell him. There's things that he go through that I don't know till he tells me. Cause we mind our own business. We are men. We have careers. We got family. We got different situations that we're trying to make happen. Everybody's life is like the internet and cell phones got people's mental so twisted that, like, if you have a cell phone, when I call you, you have to answer because it's a cell phone. No, I don't. I can put my cell phone down. I can walk away. I could turn it off. I could put it on do not disturb because I really don't want to be bothered. Just because I have a cellular phone doesn't mean I have to pick it up. Just because I'm on the internet or I have access to the internet doesn't mean I have to know what's going on in everybody's life in every single moment. I I don't have to do that. And to my understanding, I just saw a short video of Jada Pinkett Smith saying that she don't care about what people think about her head. She loves it, so she said. Well, well, if you love it so much, then why make that face if somebody talk about it? Because this is also the society of cap. Like people say things that they don't mean. So guess what? If so, let's say for instance, Chris Rock did know, but then let's say he saw that video of her empowering herself by shaving her head and and her being in Hollywood and people wanted to put processed stuff in her hair and try to but she didn't want to do that, and now that she's bald and she loves it. Now what if he saw that also? Then he's like, okay, yeah, she bald, but she cool with it. She rocking with it. Like, yo, like, People have a tendency to put out different messages, and it's confusing. Are you sensitive to it, or are you not sensitive to it? If you're sensitive to it, say that you're sensitive to it. Don't try to champion something and give people a false idea. It's like, yeah, like if people are hurt and we tell people to tell us that they're hurt, so that way we can treat you differently. We can treat you differently when we know. But if you want people to assume that you're okay, and if people ask you, "Are you okay?" and you're like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like, are you sure? Oh yeah, man. I'm just thinking about something. And if the truth is you're about to have a mental breakdown, and if somebody says the wrong thing, you're gonna go shoot somebody or slap somebody or punch somebody or drive your car off a cliff. Like yo, like these are things that people like. We ask questions. If you want to keep it bottled up, then that's on you. But within saying that, society can't also condemn them people for being vulnerable, right? So Will Smith and Jada about all this extraness that's in their personal lives that we didn't actually see, but okay, we seen it. You guys were vulnerable to people that was going through problems, kind of like you guys, not really, but whatever. Okay, we understand that. But now you're asking people to not perceive it the way that they perceive it. That's kind of, you know, oh, we're doing this for people to, know that they're not the only ones going through. Okay. I think most of us really don't care. But then for somebody like Chris Rock to not even comment on it, it's kind of like, okay, you just wanted to be mad, right? You wanted to be mad at something. And Chris Rock was just the perfect place at the perfect time, perfect person. But what do you guys think? Hit me up in the comments. Go to my Gmail. Do not call my phone if you have my phone number. Um, until next time. Hey, everybody be safe. Check on your friends. Mental health is serious, and we need to address it more. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but yeah, that's all I got. It's 4:30. I need to try to get some kind of sleep. I need to be up at 6 o'clock. But till then.